It is Saturday, so it's going to be Solo Saturday. I don't know, I'm just making that up as we go. I'm here to show a colony 1 versus 1 game, and I've been spending a lot of time thinking, okay? 3v3s, 2v2s, 1v1s, they are different. There are different approaches you need to do in the game, but all in all, I've been starting to think more about different aggressive playstyles, and not just aggressive, but just trying to understand what would be my goal or objective at each stage of the game. So first off, obviously early game, I do think power nodes are incredibly important, and going after nodes are essentially super important in order to get that extra power that you need. And before I go any deeper, this build order right now starts off with a supply gen being upgraded, with a gen being upgraded, to then going to supply, and then we're going to be quite surprised with what I'm going to go ahead and do next, which is actually going to be another supply. But all in all, it's then going to be raid camp. We're going to go double raid camp. No, actually, we're going to go raid camp with an apex. And the reason behind this is because I want to see, is there a play where I can be more aggressive on the field, not just go after nodes, because there is a clock in which if someone's trying to go to tech 2, how do you stop that or hurt them enough such that you still have the lead even though you're behind in regards to tech, and there's still enough time to be able to start that transition to the next stage if need be. As well as, how does this build order match up against hero build orders or a more aggressive barracks play as a whole. So we're going to get a little bit of a taste of that. And so there we go, raid camp is done. We do have our mini base in which it will have an apex as well. The enemy did let us get resources at the front of the map. I'm presuming they went and got the resources around the edge of the map. And there are 2 marines already showing up, and so we're going to use this opportunity to go ahead and scout. We're also going to continue skitter production. We're going to make sure we grab our minis, get supply pads associated with it, and we're going to make that engineer. And so my army comp is going to consist of a couple things: Goliaths, suicide grunts, because I think suicide grunts are exceptional in the early game, and some engineers to keep my heals for my army as much as possible. And so one thing that we see here is that the enemy did go double gen. Now, the gen did not actually get upgraded yet. I believe one of them is upgraded, both of them are upgraded, and I misread that. But the goal is just, hey, let's get our economy going, let's produce units. We know what the enemy's doing. There's an armory in the back, so let's start working on nodes so we can get that additional power, because I am only on 1 gen right now. But one thing I've also been starting to figure out as well is, because of the fact that, for instance, they're going hero, I'm going to have more of an army out on the field, and that means I can try and grab a second base a little bit sooner and use those 3 extra slots to further boost my economy to try and help me get to the second stage faster or catch up if I happen to be behind. And so the chopper has saw everything. We're going to go ahead and make sure that there is no second base being established with the chopper, and we're going to use our skitters to be attached to our Goliath because that's more health for them. And now we're going to continue to work on the nodes. I do know there's a hero out and about, and so that's why the suicide grunts are going to start popping up, because that means there's going to be infantry that's usually with it as well. And I got the Goliath also is because the deal with bunkers, right? If I went with pure grunts, it would have been alright, but if they ended up going with barracks play with that hero, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. So this is why I decided to try and go with this comp as a whole. And so we're going after the node. Things are looking relatively decent so far, and the skitter still trying to figure out where to put it on. There we go, engineer. So we're going to try and prioritize that, and there you go. Blue is starting to show up, and I'm going to micro back but bring the suicide grunts forward to start with our connect. And there we go, great connection by the suicide grunt. And now we're going to put on our second base, because this is what I mean. There's not much they can do to try and push. We do have some Goliaths, and there's that barracks play I was talking about. And so fortunately, we are going to be able to push this back. We do have suicide grunts that's going to keep this pressure up. It did get targeted fired a little bit, but we were able to do at least a decent amount of damage. Bunker is coming down, so that's going to be my cue to do all units and get out of there, because the Y move has also gone down as well. And what I want to do is see if I can catch the leader in a position such that I can go ahead and flank and knock him out. And speaking of which, third point has come in, And so colony drop is actually going to be dropped so we can try and focus on the bunker that is in the back. We do have the heals with the damage reduction, and now we're going to see if we can take out this bunker, and that means he's going to have to start retreating afterwards. He doesn't have enough DPS to go ahead and deal with what we've got, and we do have suicide grunts that are going to help zone the enemy out as well. And so now we have 2 nodes and they have 2 nodes as well, but now we can start getting these nodes and further try to catch up with the power that we're kind of behind, because once again we're only on 1 gen. But all in all, our army comp is looking pretty decent. I want to go after the nodes on the left hand side as well if possible, but then Johnny shows up. He wants to keep the pressure going for him. Did get rid of one of my skitterers there, and so now it's like a little bit of a micro war, but I want to get rid of the rest of these over here, so I'm going to start pulling back, but he's still pressuring me, and he throws down a bunker right in front. We're going to pop an engineer swarm. There it goes, so we can heal as much as we can with our army. And with what we've got, it's only a hero here with a jackrabbit. So now we want to try and stagger our rams with our Goliaths in order to do so. We're getting some great damage off. Will we be able to get... There he goes. The last ram in the skitter finishes him off. And so now we were able to take out the leader as well. And so this is going to be my cue to go ahead and try and press the base. We're going to put in grunt on hold to try and capture that node on that left hand side. And with everybody else, we're going to keep trying to push. I will send 1 Goliath to the left hand side in order to try and put some pressure on that barracks, on that mini base. But all in all, we practically are getting very close to Tech 2. We're getting our 3rd gen up. Our economy is looking very strong. We're ready to go to Tech 2 when need be. And now we're going to go ahead and see if we can target the main base. I did think about the mini base, but I said, you know what? I'm ahead. Let's go ahead and see if we can do something with what we've got. Let's put some more skitters on these Goliaths, put them on the engineers. And now let's just start seeing if we can put this base in shambles. So I'm going to start targeting the garage, and of course I have the suicide grunts go right into it, but not much I can do about that there. This Goliath is going to go ahead and fall back and try and go after the flame vet that's there. We did make some reinforcements, but it does look like they're just going to be staying over there. We are getting teleport as well just in case, but mantises have shown up, and so this is going to be a slight problem. And with them trying to focus down on my engineers, I also need to be careful not to lose them all. So we are zoning out relatively well. We're finally on Tech 2. Because I see those mantises, I want to get double raid camp up to start producing some hunters so we can deal with that. My pop still hasn't been reduced yet. I'm ready to go ahead and do a colony drop on that armory if possible, but it just has not happened yet. And so we're going with some good heals right now. There's that colony drop that's coming in. Bunker is coming down. Will we continue just to be able to put as much pressure and damage? Going after that advanced gen, upgrades are coming in, and we're going to finally get that war console to get our hero out. But we're so ahead economically, and this is what I was talking about in regards to just trying to stay ahead. And because they have units in the bunker with their hero, that's going to be my cue to fall back. These Goliaths have did their job. They're going to end up passing away, unfortunately. But we did do a lot of damage on the enemy. And so, we're on 2 bases. They're stuck on 1 base. Their base is in shambles. They lost both their gens. And meanwhile, I have all the nodes. So I have so much power coming into me right now. And so, infantry upgrades are coming in. Foundry is going to come up just to get ready for anti-air if need be. And now we're going to go ahead and focus down on the mini base that's over here. Going to go ahead and pop a heal, thinking that one of my Goliaths was, you know, had a lot more HP than what it did. But hey, it's okay. It turns out my settings got reset, so I'm not showing hit point bar, and I just realized that as I'm commentating this game, which is kind of funny. But all in all, infantries are being taken care of. And now we're going to start transitioning over to the second part of the game. We have combat repair. We got a second base. And just like that, the enemy ends up self-destructing all their bases, which is just 1 base because we got rid of all the mini bases. So we're going to do one last all units on the node. And I thought this was a very interesting game to show. I am trying to show a different approach to the game. I know some people just like to go mass Goliaths, mass whatever, but I think trying to get a good army comp and take good engagements is going to be key, as well as the timing, right? I attacked right when he got the tech too, which was really nice. The hunter's going to get rid of the mantis, but other than that, this game is relatively over. So if you did like this video, if you like ones in general, feel free to give it a like, because then I will keep on doing it. I'll keep doing it for now anyways, because it's actually quite a learning experience. As I said, I've been playing this game for what, four years or so, since, yeah, and I barely played ones. I probably played ones like a few times in my life. So all in all, shout out to the enemy. Was playing as Johnny, went 37 for 18. I've won in every category there, which really worked out. And this is off 1 gen, mind you. As I said, I've been trying to figure out a way where you can start off being aggressive, but pull off ahead if you do it correctly. If I lose my whole army, that's going to be a tough spot. But yes, with all that being said, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, as I said, feel free to leave a like, subscribe if you like it. And last but not least, I have a Discord if you want to go ahead and come in, talk about wars, talk about games, see what I'm making on my game dev channel. I have a Patreon as well. If you'd like to do any of that, feel free to use any of the links down below. Stay awesome. Keep up the great work, everybody. See you all in wars or wherever. And until next time.